Hi everyone. Today, I'm doing something a little different. I'm taking a brief detour from my usual Fire Emblem content to hastily throw together a script and talk about something I just really felt moved to discuss. It's hard to know exactly where to begin. I suppose I should start at the beginning, and by the beginning I mean back in late 2006, when my 11 or 12-year-old self stumbled upon YouTube.com for my first time. I'm 27 now, so if you do the math, I've been browsing this website for more than half of my life. In that time, I've seen a lot of creators rise, with some remaining and some falling off. I remember, for example, the late 2000s rise and fall of Fred, as well as the comedic stylings of folks like Nigahiga and Kev Jumba. I remember when Smosh was just two guys screwing around lip-syncing themes from TV shows and testing the limits of their favorite phallic and vaginal-shaped foods. I remember Ray William Johnson's Equals 3 show, including the moments that aged well and others that really didn't. I remember the laser collection and the cheesy inside jokes my friends and I developed from them. I remember the rise of Let's Play channels, and I even tried unsuccessfully to convince my friends to start one with me. I remember the early days of Swoozie and the subsequent rise of Storytime animation, and I avidly followed the burgeoning edutainment scene from that time. I also remember seeing early PewDiePie when a friend of mine showed me his Goat Simulator video. That must have been around 2014 or so. And even though it took me years to start paying attention to the YouTube drama scene, I remember hearing the early rumblings of it in 2016 and hearing names like iDubbbz and Leafy and Keemstar secondhand from my friends. I remember following each upload of
The Meme Review
from That Is the Plan and his ripping to shreds of Behind the Meme, as well as a similar video from one of my other favorite creators, Emp Lemon. Heck, my IRL career choice as a composer and symphonic power metal vocalist was directly inspired by YouTube, which itself was my gateway to discovering the likes of Dragon Force, Stratovarius, Avantasia, and so many other fantastic bands that were simply unknown here in the US at that time. Heck, many of them are still unknown in these parts. But amidst the chaotic and messy and beautiful cacophony of YouTube was a masked man from Eastern Europe with a wit as sharp as a tack, charisma that could outmatch any A-list movie star, and content that had you literally raffling from each video without fail. I am of course referring to the Slav superstar himself, Life of Boris. That's right, Life of Boris. The gamer, the cook, the travel guide, the cat owner, the airline operator, the driving instructor, and the language tutor. You name it, he could do it. And he could do it with a sheer gusto that no one else I know of ever could. Funny thing though is that in times where I've told people about his channel and they ask me what it's all about, I never quite know what to say. And heck, Boris himself doesn't even seem to know either, as shown in various community posts he's made. And while I think that in and of itself is part of the charm, I've nonetheless done some thinking about what his channel really is all about. You know, what the essence is behind Life of Boris. And I actually think I've begun to approach an answer. Let's first consider his cooking videos. I'm sure plenty of you out there have seen scores of cooking channels on this site, from Food Network stars to independent cooks and so on, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that thinks that they're all practically the same. They're all chefs with the same personality, cooking the same fancy dishes with slightly different yet very expensive ingredients, using the same fancy kitchen tools that literally nobody owns, and you know the rest. You see, Boris turns this on its head by cooking mostly dirt simple, albeit sometimes challenging recipes with basic ingredients that one can easily find at any grocery store, save for some region-specific items. And while the foods themselves don't always have much to them, Boris makes up for this by infusing each video with personality, from his iconic fast-paced dialogue to his perfectly timed punchlines and so on. And on top of that, this style of cooking video is also more approachable simply by virtue of them being realistic and doable recipes you can make on a tight budget. I could also say much of the same about his gaming videos, where most gaming channels feature the same types of folks making basic commentary over gameplay. Boris incorporates his own humor, from rating games by the destructibility of their toilets, to systematically denying access to a fictional Eastern Bloc country, to going one-on-one against neighbor Vadim. And who could forget his travel videos, where he doesn't just show the sights, but he also shares his hijinks and buys local groceries to try in his hotel room and rate them based on their Slavness, mayonnaise, and all. So what's the common thread in all of this? Boris himself. The guy can take otherwise mundane content and spin it into gold just by being himself. It's why I and the rest of his 3 million subscribers watch. I mean, come on, he even made freaking reaction content interesting. That's just showing off at that point. And of course, having cute videos with his cat Artyom from time to time is a nice touch as well. Now why am I here today waxing poetic about this guy? Well, he recently announced that he's backing away from the Life of Boris channel, and while this isn't exactly unexpected given his recent content as well as, shall we say, currently unfolding historical events, I still can't help but feel a bit sad about it, and I know I'm not alone in that. Fortunately, he's announced a new channel for gaming content called Soup Kitchen Gaming, which I plan to follow him to, and I hope all of you do as well. And so, for the rest of this video, I thought I'd share some more personal memories I have with the Life of Boris channel, both to show my appreciation for all the hard work he's put in over the years, and to show what all it's meant to me. I hope all of you watching can share some of your own stories in the comments too. I at least would love to give them a read. At the time I discovered his channel in the summer of 2017, I had just graduated from college and was preparing a late summer trip to Germany, and in preparation for that trip I was trying to learn as much German as I could for it. Only problem was I would get distracted from it because I would be too busy watching Boris butcher other languages himself and teaching viewers Russian swear words. No regrets. And several months later when I moved into my first apartment, I would try out the recipes he shared, albeit with little success. I managed to get a few right, but those moments were comically rare. My friends and I absolutely flopped in our attempt of making Russian pelmeni, and I had to cheat his stroganoff recipe because some of the ingredients were hard to find in the area I lived in at the time. I made kotelett a couple times too, but had a hard time getting the right milk to bread to meat ratio. I also discovered that some of his recipes are shared with American ones. I grew up eating the exact same strawberry jam that Boris makes, which my mom also makes, and had no idea that people made that stuff in other countries too. And apparently there are some areas of rural America where compote is common as well, although most people here call it compote. There are a few others too, but I forget off the top of my head. I had even developed the habit of squatting at the bus and train stations when it was taking too long to arrive. Who knew heels on ground would actually be somewhat comfortable? Also, since I mentioned at the beginning of this video that this is primarily a Fire Emblem channel, those of you out there who have seen both my channel and Boris's content can probably spot the various ways that his content has influenced mine. Some of his mannerisms have undoubtedly rubbed off on me, and the very fact that I put subtitles in all my videos was directly inspired by him. Heck, I even tracked down the font he uses specifically for this video instead of my usual Helvetica Neue. But enough about me. I don't even have a single ounce of Slavic or otherwise Eastern European blood in me. Plus, if I don't stop myself here, I'd be here forever telling stories. If any of you want to hear more, I can make a Reddit post or something. But with that all being said, all that this Western spy has to say now is, thank you, Boris. I doubt you're watching this, but thank you for everything. I know things are hard for you now and have been for a long time, but we viewers are here for you. You keep doing you, and we will follow. Because no matter what you end up doing, Boris залишається Борисом.